are 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, a lot of them. And I got to tell you what, to think that they could be traveling on their own to the American border is absolutely outrageous. And that our government has played a part in this push, in the pull of the push and pull, is absolutely outrageous, and it's unacceptable. Mr. Palmieri, in your comments about, I won't go there. Do you have a report for us about what kind of horrors these children experience during their hundreds of miles journey here? Rape, abuse, murder? What information do you have on what they experience on their route to America?
The journey is incredibly dangerous, and
I know that. What specifics do you have?
And we know that individuals and children in particular who undertake that journey suffer different forms of violence.
Have you done studies?
There are reports of sexual assault. There are reports of mass killings in the past. There are reports of being kidnapped and then extorted for additional funds as they're crossing along the journey.
Mm-hmm.
There are reports of children who have been maimed trying to board trains that are moving to the north. The dangers are significant. They're very well documented, and we can get you a full report on that.
I would welcome that. Are you a parent?
I am a parent, and
Okay,
I
just want to ask you a
live-
question. So do you think that you need your government to tell you that, I don't know how old your children are, but if you have a 4-year-old, do you need the government to say, listen, you're going to send your child, your 4-year-old or your 6-year-old on a multiple 100-mile journey. It's dangerous. You don't know the coyote, you don't know the smuggler. Newsflash to all of you, we're going to spend money to go, this is a dangerous trip for my child. I would say that's pointless. It muddies the message, and you told us that's part of the messaging that you're doing in these countries. I think it makes more sense to say the American border is closed. This trip will be for naught. If you get there, I'm sorry, we're compassionate. The president's talked about our dreamers, but if you come, you're going to be sent back. Don't make the trip. But that you're telling parents that this is dangerous? Parents aren't stupid. I mean, this is insulting that you tell a parent that it's a dangerous trip.
The messages combine both messages, Mr. Duffy. Not only are we explaining the dangers of the journey and making it very real for these parents to consider, but we are also making clear that there are no immigration benefits in the United States.
Are you telling them that the
when
border?
you arrive, that there will be no
So to that point,
benefit under the Deferred Action on Childhood Arrivals, that there will be no benefit under comprehensive immigration
and to
reform.
back up that point, have you been sending any of these children back home?
There have been very few.
That's right, there's been very few. So isn't
deportations of the unaccompanied children, because we have to at
but-
first attend to their humanitarian
so wouldn't the
needs
message?
and connect them to a guardian or a relative who can receive them.
So the message really is, you send them and they don't get deported. They haven't been deported, they get to stay. You can say all you want, but the messaging has been, if you send your children to the U.S. border, they will be allowed in and they won't be sent back to their country of origin. And I think that is the wrong message. And you would agree that this is a humanitarian crisis that involves children, yes?
It's an acute humanitarian situation. These children are suffering.
What is the pull that's brought these kids to the United States?
The factors we see, and it's a very complex issue, as you've just outlined, is there are factors both in their home country related
That's
to,
the push. I'm talking, what's the pull? What's the pull bringing them up here?
and they have family members, obviously in the United States, that they're trying to reunite
Do you
with.
think it has anything to do with the president's comments about immigration, the president's policies on our border?
I think the administration message has been very clear since this situation has expanded, that there are no immigration benefits for these children who are arriving, that they will be given notices to appear for deportation proceedings, and that the journey will be futile.
This is a humanitarian crisis that involves children. I think it is of the utmost seriousness. What comments publicly has the president made to say, listen, our borders aren't open, and you will be, if you send your children, they will be deported back to their country of origin? What public comments has he made to that effect?
The messages we are sending
That's not my
out
question
are
for you.
very
What,
loud and clear.
no, 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 no. My question is, this is serious stuff. It involves children. What has the president said publicly about sending these children home? He hasn't said anything, has he?
I will gather the president's statements and deliver them.
He has made public statements to this effect. I haven't seen them. I haven't heard them. You have?
In the announcement about the humanitarian situation, the president emphasized that we had a humanitarian need.
Did he say that our borders were closed? Hey, it's a humanitarian crisis. But he's not saying, listen, of course it's a humanitarian crisis, but listen, everybody, our borders are closed. If you come, we're gonna send you back home. That would go a long way to sending the message to these specific 3 countries that if you send your kids, it is dangerous, and they're not going to get the benefit that you talked about in your testimony. If the president says that, that goes a long way, and I think saving little kids' lives. I used to prosecute child sexual assault cases. They're the most horrific cases that you will ever handle as a prosecutor. And to think that these kids will go through these horrors, and the president won't stand up and say, listen, there's no benefit. Please don't send your children. And he says it publicly and strongly. I think that is the wrong message from this administration. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank my friend, Mr. Duffy, for raising the issue. This is serious stuff, and we all get it.